comes down to like what you were saying before. It's like, how much can you trust any of these people? And I don't know. I think that's the question that you have to like choose the amount that you can.
Best investigative work on Hunter Biden, and he's also been the only. No, that's true. And he's also the only senator who's been documenting injuries from the COVID vaccines. Ron Johnson. What? Why is he doing it? Because it's good to know if people are dying because they were forced to get vaccinated.
Who was forced to get vaccinated? Like you're like talking about people whose like jobs said that you had to do it.
Yep.
Because I was like, there's not, I don't actually know a lot of people who are like forced to do it.
I mean, there's a huge percentage of the population that only got it because their jobs were threatened. The compliance prior to mandate.
Right, I'm saying I personally
30%.
don't know anyone.
Oh,
but that's just because I don't know people who I think work in. I mean, I know people who work in like dick around jobs like stand-up comedian.
Right. No, it was. I mean, the numbers. It was compliance prior to any jobs, like mandating it was only about 30%, I think. Probably so, and that was like the soft mandates of just when people's jobs were doing it, and then when the government mandates came in, I would say as many as 40% of people that initially got vaccinated was because of some sort of force.
And I think also to the point that you were talking about like philosophy earlier. Look, depending on what
I don't think Nature.com is a reputable source.
I don't think so either. The first I'm hearing of Nature.com.
Yeah, you pull up things and you're like, I don't know that this is reputable.
Nature?
Nature.com?
Are you a scientist? Okay.
Okay.
We'll trust her then.
We don't know what kind.
What kind of scientist?
A fake
Like a
pro-vaccine one.
You're an immunologist? Oh my God. That is hilarious.
Sick.
Didn't you say you would debate anybody
still
on
will.
the matter?
Yeah.
Still will.
I
Yeah,
actually would
go
kind
ahead.
of like to see that.
Go ahead, debate. What also,
What are the fucking chances?
I also like that you just scoffed at vaccines in general. Like I would say I could even like open up a discussion where I talk about like I think like the COVID vaccine being rushed, but it still has to be like okayed by the FDA, and then also like vaccines in general have been proven to like work. What are you, Jenny McCarthy?
Well, I have no problem.
And I like her. Just,
I have no
you know,
problem with vaccines.
Right.
I do have a problem with the COVID vaccine.
because
which-
of the mandates.
No, because firstly, I don't even think it's accurate to call it a vaccine. I believe that it is a new technology that works differently than traditional vaccines. Traditional vaccines give you a version of the virus that your body reacts to it.
Right.
The mRNA gives you the reaction. It's not really a vaccine.
What do you think, scientists?
Retort from the scientist in the crowd.
It gives you the spike protein. It doesn't give you a version of
Yeah,
the
we
dead
need to put
virus.
you on the microphone.
Come on, I'll give you my
so that
microphone.
it goes into the live stream
Mike,
feed.
will this reach? Yeah.
Can you just, you don't have to say your name, but can you on mic give your credentials once again, please?
Sure.
You can say your name, but you don't have to.
First name, I'm Hannah.
Hi, Hannah.
I have a Bachelor of Science from UC San Diego in Human
Nice.
Biology. We went to school together. I have a Master's of Science from Rutgers in Newark, and I'm currently working on my PhD. I'm a fifth-year PhD student in well, we'll see. Immunology.
And I mostly
also
failed
at
out of
Rutgers.
college.
Oh, cool. Okay, so
Amazing.
I'm drinking.
So you are correct in that traditional vaccines give you like a little piece, maybe cooked or already processed.
And then your body
piece
reacts
of the virus.
to it.
Correct, which only works if your immune system is able to process that. So something like a cold, smallpox. We're great at fighting those diseases, which is why once you get that disease, you're never going to get it again.
Just a little closer to the mic.
Oh, sorry. You're never going to get that disease again because our immune systems are totally cool about making a response to that disease. Never get it again. We remember, never again. Cool. The problem is coronavirus, along with a couple other viruses that are sort of trickier, dengue virus, Zika virus, RSV, that's
Newer.
new. Well, it's not
more
newer,
of an
but anyway, coronavirus, again, we're not good at building an immune response. So actually, like, you can get it over and over and over again, which is a problem in nursery schools and for really old people with RSV, because you just get this bad cold over and over again and you never like remember it. So it's like you don't have, literally you don't have we don't store a memory of it. For some reason we fight it, you clear it, great, forget all about it. Like I don't know, something you forget about, sure. I've had,
Wait, so I have to ask though, because you're not
Sure.
taking on what I said, which
The
is that this is
mRNA,
different.
absolutely, totally. So it is different. The problem is,
It's different and new.
mRNA we've known about for a long time.
Have we rolled out an mRNA vaccine before?
That I don't know. I don't want to.
So then it's both accurate to say that this is different and new.
That is accurate, yeah.
Okay, so now also, that was the starting point. I said that this is not a traditional vaccine. And
Don't
it's
let 'em
different
get
and
you,
new.
Hannah.
Thus far, everything I've said is accurate, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now the actual utility of the mRNA vaccine, does it work like a traditional vaccine and that we're giving your body the virus and then you're responding to it? I know that it wouldn't work, but that's my exact point, was that this is not a traditional vaccine, and that, in my opinion, calling it a vaccine was marketing because it's working in the opposite way, and that it's giving you the response, and it's not giving you the dead virus. That's not a traditional vaccine.
Yeah, so it's like, are we going to school everyone in America?
So the answer is no. Deborah Birx admitted that it was never proven or tested. All right, so you guys are uneducated on this. So you can get mad at
It's
me.
a person who's named Deborah but wanted to be
All right,
fancy.
You can get mad at me. Okay, so I will tell you who Deborah Birx is. She was the head of the Donald Trump's. I want to get this accurate because now you guys are coming out. Can you pull up Deborah Birx?
I have her.
And you can probably even follow.
She's an American physician and diplomat who served as the White House coronavirus response coordinator under President Donald Trump from 2020 to 2021.
About 2 months ago, in a Senate congressional hearing, she said
she's old.
That it was never studied whether or not the vaccine prevented you from getting sick. It was recent, it was not in America, but someone from Pfizer admitted that they never tested the vaccine to say that it wouldn't get you sick. We're talking about statistics, right? Forget statistics. What did you say to me 2 minutes ago? What did you say to me? You said that this is a vaccine because it will keep you from getting sick. And I'm telling you it was never studied for that, including the people on the task force. I'm getting too hostile. I feel like I got to calm down. Well, you've been an ass to me all night, so...
Wait, who is that? Who has been an ass to you? Who's in the back of the room?
That lady.
Oh, I don't know what she did to you.
There is certainly like people hear that I'm studying immunology and they're like, cool. So how do you feel about vaccines? So like I do.
Vaccines are great. Is what I said about the mRNA vaccine inaccurate?
The
it's
technology
new?
isn't that new.
But
all of this technology is from the 90s.
It seems
new?
like your issue though is like just the almost like the wording. Like, why are we calling it a vaccine if it's something that is slightly different?
The initial, I mean, you can rewind the tape.
Would you prefer a prophylactic?
Sure, I don't even know what that word means.
Prophylactic is like
all
something
I'm saying is that in my opinion, it was inaccurate to refer to it as a vaccine because I feel like that was marketing.
Right.
And you guys attacked me, and then I explained why I thought that this was different than other vaccines.
It is.
And you stepped up to argue with me, and now you're agreeing with me.
I never said. I argue with you that it's an ineffective.
I didn't say. Okay, firstly, I think that it was a mistake for healthy individuals to take it, but that's not the statement. I did not start off by saying it was an ineffective vaccine. My starting point over here was I said I think it's inaccurate to call it a vaccine.
I know, and that's why I just brought up the point of the wording. So I was like, we can find a more agreeable
All I'm saying is I
word
wasn't
that we can
wrong.
talk about.
I was not wrong in my statement.
So to follow up on what you said, Robbie, they said that it was not effective. They never tested whether or not it was effective in preventing transmission to others. But
or you getting it?
No.
I think, the whole point they were saying like it's a lot less likely that you'll die from it. That's what it was always to me like
That's
conveyed
not what it was
as.
at the beginning.
That messaging changed. You're
Well,
wrong about that.
The messaging certainly did change along the lines, but like that's what we're at now at the point in time. Because I mean, I'm not going to disagree that mass hysteria was created and that people brought it like I think it was like it was like too far. Yes, of course, but that's America. That's what we do. Everything, even with a crime. But it's not like Democrats just do it or Republicans just do it. Everyone fucking does it about everything. That's the country that we live in. Everything is a higher stakes than it needs to be at all times. That's how we live.
Everyone to look at the pre-trial studies where there were more deaths in the people that were vaccinated than the people that weren't. And you guys haven't heard that until right now, but I would encourage you to look it up.
Vaccine-enhanced disease is a thing.
What?
It's called vaccine-enhanced disease. So like you get the vaccine and then this happens with RSV, which is why the vaccine is such a problem, but now we have a better one. So like these things have steps. And so like I'm hesitant to say like you're right about that too, because like
Okay.
there are semantic issues.
It's also the other thing. That's the last thing I'll say, and then you can have the closing remark, because I feel like it got more hostile than I was hoping for. I also think the fact that there was a 14-day window before you were considered fully vaccinated, in addition to the fact that in the record keeping, anyone with an unknown vaccinated status was considered to be unvaccinated, has distorted the numbers for the entire record keeping of this. And so on that basis, I think it would be hard to say what evidence existed to say that healthy individuals should have taken this. I don't think it had a lot of utility, but that's just my personal opinion. And specifically the record keeping is very poor.
Totally.
Well, I mean, the record, we knew that because a lot of things like were categorized as COVID deaths when, like, you know, they kind of died from something else. But I mean, that was kind of like, I think, widespread knowledge at this point. We've certainly talked about it lots on this show. That like they're making they're categorizing a lot of things as COVID death, but when in reality the person actually died from something else.
The errors, you know what? I don't want to. I'm sorry. I didn't want to.
This is what the show is about. I mean, the point is just like people can't get mad and yell at each other, but I'm like, I'm not getting mad. I'm drunk though. So I'm not mad. I'm having a great time.
So
I already gestured at my whiskey. Like
from my perspective, it looked like the CDC was always cherry picking data purposely to try and sell the vaccine. Where, in my view,
I agree. I think it was a hard push, and in retrospect, I mean, again, I've talked about this on the show. I would have 100% gotten the initial vaccine. I wouldn't have gotten the booster. In retrospect, my mom bullied me to see my grandmother, and I was like, if it's to see my grandma, my mom, I'm going to do it. But like, I still to this day have not gotten COVID.
Same.
And I've been checked for everything. Like I've never gotten it.
It's pretty good.
Never.
Do you think you never got it? Or you just didn't have symptoms?
I don't know, but there's no way to know now because even if I have antibodies, they'd be from the vaccine.
Right.
So
makes sense.
What do you think if you could just give a
sure
quick bullet point list?
Mm-hmm.
What do you like? People did die from this virus, right? So like,
sure.
What would you have done if you could just like quick bullet point list on like quick lockdowns, vaccine, whatever? Just like what would be your plan if it was up to you?
People should have been allowed to make their own decisions about vaccination and how much of a risk they thought this was and whether or not they should be out and about and participating in normal life.
And why? And can you just give like quick blurb on like what like your like?
Because I like freedom, and everything that government did here was restrictive mandates that cost people their livelihoods, and you're going to see increased death because people were misdiagnosed. You're going to see increased death already because of the alcoholism. You're going to see kids that didn't get the education that they needed. I mean, the amount of money that we spent that we're now seeing in inflation right now, and there's no correlation between the mandates and people getting less sick. There's none. The areas that had restrictions didn't do any better than the areas that didn't.
But some of the as far as like from a fiscal point of view, a lot of that is like they're making it up. They're making things more expensive when it doesn't actually need to be. It's like
explain that to me.
It's for what's the word for it when it's for scarcity. Like it's not actually so. It's just corporations taking advantage of the fact that we went through a pandemic so they can tell us they don't have access to things and they can tell us things are more expensive than they really are. But it's not actually so.
So let me ask you this. Without inflation, how can the prices of all goods rise? Where would the more money come from? At some point.
What?
That was the last episode. Gas prices.
But what about gas prices?
Yeah, gas prices are not controlled by politics, though.
Okay.
Well, and that's kind of like the joke. Everyone's like yelling at Biden, like, but he's not the person who makes control over the gas prices.
It's somewhat,
that's like the whole joke.
It somewhat is because he's changed the entire economics of expansive oil drilling. So, like, for example, getting rid of the Keystone Pipeline, you're talking about investments that companies plan for years and spend a lot of money on. So if you have a policy where you're like, hey, we're trying to get rid of your industry and we're trying to focus on green energy instead, you change the entire economics in investing in increasing supply because you're telling corporations that you might make massive investments in oil drilling or other things that will increase supply, and we might just nullify your investment and tell you that you're not even allowed to sell your product. And so there isn't a move to expand basically natural gas or a move to expand oil drilling. And so that's very much driven by Biden. and Democratic policies that's going to lessen the supply of oil in this country, which will drive up prices.
There's some.
Is that what this has become now? Everybody's got their hands up.
Sure. Yeah,
I feel like I'm at a press
I was like,
conference.
this has been pretty widely disputed that Biden has no control over it, so that's like weird. But if you guys have any more things to.
Yeah, but that's also because BlackRock has heavily invested in this new ESG thing. All right. I can't debate everyone on everything.
It is true.
Green energy and windmills are not more effective than... Okay, sure. You said it with confidence, so yes, you're right.
But that's any politician ever is just saying something with confidence and we believe them. I mean, it's like this whole show. I mean,
it's just not
and
true.
Also,
then why?
If
then
people
why
just
isn't
state
like,
facts
yeah.
or facts and quotes at a certain point, like I mean, like if I don't have the information, I can't dispute, but I also can't be like yes. I mean, for this one, I can. I mean, it's been a huge talking point because abortion was the primary thing we were talking about in midterm elections until gas prices came along, and it's been widely disputed that no president, whether it's Biden or a Republican president, can control gas prices. Like this is just like a thing that we all know now, and so like to bring it up as a new point is like just the answer is just no.
If someone had a better relationship with Saudi Arabia, called them up and said, "Hey, I want you guys to put out more oil."
So you're saying Biden isn't networking well enough?
No, I'm just saying. Hold on. Your statement was no president can have any control over the oil prices, and I'm telling you that a president with a better relationship with Saudi Arabia, I'm not saying that that's immoral or good, could make that phone call and get us better pricing. He wasn't able to do it because he pissed him off, probably rightfully so, on the Yemen thing. But I'm just saying to state factually that a president has zero control over it, I don't believe is accurate.
I think pointing fingers at a president and being like Biden made gas prices high is just like very inaccurate.
What? No, I was actually saying specifically with the Biden. You guys aren't quite following me here.
He's just a little smarter than us.
No, no, there's a distinction. I literally said it would be immoral, and I thought what he did in that case was good. But to say that he doesn't have, that there's no input would be inaccurate. And here's a single example. Those two things are both true. Yes.
Well, I mean, what about the fact that BP BP just posted record all-time highs?
Right, but here's the thing. Fine.
All time.
Let me explain the way inflation works. This is just the classic example.
I don't care about inflation. I care about what it costs at the pump.
I know, but here's the thing about record profits. It's record profits with money that has less purchasing power. Everyone's profits should be up. Because all of the goods cost more. That's the way inflation works. It's like, hey, we all got more money, so we're going to go spend more money. So now the pizza place charges me $4 instead of $2. His profits are up, but he can't buy as much shit. It doesn't mean anything. That talking point of corporate profits are up. Yes, of course, that's the way inflation works. Everything goes up. Who else got something?
All right, guys. So tell everyone where they can find you, Robbie, or maybe make something up.
Well, if you liked everything I had to say here tonight, you can catch me out 4 days a week on my own podcast, Run Your Mouth, where you can get more of this information, part of the problem, the other 3 days of the week, or you can follow me on Twitter, Robbie the Fire.
And thank you so much, because this was a situation where you did willingly feed yourself to the wolves, and I do appreciate it very much, and I don't want to make other people not willing to share other opinions. So thank you. Mike Coscarelli?
You can find me at Mike Coscarelli on all socials, and you can hear me on Guys We Fucked.
Yeah, bet. And as you guys know, I'm Corinne Fisher. You can listen to Without a Country live stream every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Gas Digital Network, or you can watch full YouTube recounts of this on Saturdays. Please subscribe to our channel. It's Without a Country Podcast, and follow our Instagram. And also, you can listen to Guys We Fucked. It's it's like this, but only it's like we'll lean in to the sex part, and then we'll bring something about politics. It's just it's a reverse. It's a mirror of the show, if we're being honest. I only have this X amount of knowledge, and I really can't learn anything more right now. Thank you so much for coming out and for voting, and we'll talk to you next week, wackos. Bye.
All right.